Hello everybody and welcome back to Atelier Meruru. Last video we hit the world map in hopes of fighting off some powerful monsters in the area over here by Modus Ruins. Off screen I went ahead and I did do a little bit of leveling. Everybody has gone up by a few levels. Mimi got above level 40 and I figured that with a few levels I'm at a bit more of an advantage and I have a chance to fight these monsters and win, but I didn't want to overgrind, just so I have a little bit of challenge left. I was able to actually defeat the monsters off screen, but we'll see how it goes in an actual recording. And the monster fights that we're going to be doing are actually worth 40 points apiece, which is great. That will put us above our next kingdom rank when we go back to Aros, hopefully. So we are going to be starting with the ancient beast over here in the Twilight Forest. And these were done with a little bit of difficulty, so I don't know if I'll be able to fit both of these battles into one video. It was actually quite a nice challenge, which I like from time to time. So I've had to use quite a few items in these battles. And truth be told, it may just be because it's been a long while since I've played the game, but I don't recall actually fighting this enemy or the next one, so unlike my usual prepared self, I really honestly don't have much of a strategy. I don't even know what type this enemy is, and I didn't want to look it up. I just thought that it would be fun to just kind of wing it, so to speak, and see how long I'm able to last in this fight. But like I said, I did try this off screen and I was able to defeat it. These enemies, of course, are very similar to the behemoths. They actually have very similar attacks. Cut down, as we can see, they're able to do a lot of buffing. They do several attacks per turn. So a very similar type of pattern. And in this battle I find that I'm mostly just waiting to get a special attack off and do tons of damage. And to kind of stay alive. I've got a lot of healing items at my disposal. I've got some mushroom stew, healing bells, I've got some elixirs. So I've come well prepared. So this shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's just I'm finding it really hard to find the item that's going to cause the most damage to this guy. Spirit stones work great because they do a bunch of elemental damage, and you can do hundreds of damage by chaining your attacks together. Sturk also has the ability to put the enemies to sleep, which is actually quite nice. It doesn't really work all that great for this boss battle because there's not really a whole lot of things that I can do in between with Mimi and with Sturk. With Meruru, with the enemy sleeping, I can get some items off, some healing items and stuff like that, but with them, the only real option that I have is to guard, which doesn't do a whole lot, and I don't find it to be really necessary at this point. So if the enemy is asleep, it's usually going to wake up if it's attacked. But it's kind of a neat thing to see because even though sleep doesn't usually work on bosses, I've actually seen this enemy fall asleep quite a few times. And of course, because Mimi and Sturk and Meruru all do elemental damage with their weapons as well, that's just like an added little bonus that I have for damage output. So at this point in the game, of course, I can gain a few more levels, but I do feel quite optimized at this point. I don't have a whole lot of worry, just as long as I do have items in my inventory. I think that's the most important thing. And of course, if they attack one person like he just did to Sturk there, I could be in a whole world of trouble. So I am going to use an elixir on him. I also have nectars to revive him if he dies. And luckily, I also have an ability that allows me to heal all of my HP, MP, and LP as I travel the world map, which is insanely helpful. So by the time I get to the next enemy, the next boss, I should actually have all of my stats restored from this battle and fresh and ready to go without using a lot of items. And this guy should be nearly finished. So let's go out with a bang here and let's use one of Sturk's more powerful attacks, which doesn't quite do it, but hopefully next turn. Mimi's special has actually filled up, and I think Sturk's has as well. So if all else fails, I'll just use a special ability.
This one's mine.
I don't think we've actually seen Mimi's,
Let's use the power.
so that might be cool. Because this guy has an awful load of HP.
Serious. Take this. Can you even keep up? You're almost done. Now take on. Now I've got you. Go ahead. Keep on begging. That's more like it.
And that was a bit of overkill. I really didn't need to do that. I really like having kind of a nice flashy finish. So that takes care of that battle. Get tons of experience. We get quite a good amount of coal as well. Meruru has gained another level. And we get a few items here. Another one of the behemoth hearts, a weapon for Mimi, and a world spirit. So that is one of two that I would like to take care of in this video. So let's quickly head on over to our next area and see if I can't take care of that enemy. Fingers crossed, of course. It's going to take us a few days to travel, but that should allow us to rest up a little bit as we head on over to the farthest garden. And we're going to go face to face with this enemy. And as we can see here in the menu, we have actually restored everything, which is really nice. Sometimes it doesn't restore, or I haven't walked far enough, and so I'll walk into a boss fight and I'll have all of my HP and MP missing, and I've just like screwed myself over right from the beginning. But luckily that is not the case. So we are going to be fighting this enemy here, who is actually the same as one of the enemies in Atelier Totery. I haven't actually fought this enemy in this game, but as I was going through the boss fight, I noticed that this is actually an exact carbon copy, if I'm not mistaken, of an enemy from the last game, which I thought was really interesting. Now in that game, that enemy is really devastating, and in this game, it's not that bad, I would say, but it's still really tough. It has a different name though, which is nice. In Totery, it was Jewel Element, and in this one, it's Deer Element. Just a little bit of fun fact trivia for you all. If anyone has played Totery, that might be a bit of a nice throwback for you, and if not, then that will be something to look out for if you ever do play. And again, not a lot of strategy for this enemy. I found this very tough, actually. I was very surprised that I was able to pull this off when I was here. Again, it does lots of damage every single time it attacks. It does multiple attacks when it does attack. So you really need to plan things out really, really well. Has the ability to put your party to sleep, which is a huge pain. And I don't actually know if I'm going to be able to make it out of this one. It's looking pretty grim so far. it doesn't help that all my stats have gone down. I should have actually thought of that before I came in here. But alas, I did not. Which may end up being the death of me, which is really unfortunate. A little bit of carelessness on my part. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use a secret remedy on Meruru. I could use the secret remedies on everybody else if I wanted their stats to be better, which may actually be a good choice. I'm gonna bust out the spirit elements if I can, because I find that this enemy actually is very susceptible to elemental damage, which is kind of cool. And then we have a dual attack, which is really, really neat, actually. I like that. So yeah, wow, look at that damage. I was able to actually pull off a really, really nice combo there. Unfortunately, this enemy also has the ability to heal, which is insanely frustrating, especially when it does it 2 times in a row, like it just did there. There's nothing more annoying than that, in my opinion anyways. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and survive as long as I possibly can, and then I am going to unleash with either Sturk or Mimi's special. It looks like it's probably going to be Sturk this time. He's a little bit closer.
Let's use this.
And because the special attacks do so much damage, I hopefully won't have to worry by the time that time comes around. But this is giving me quite the challenge. As you can see, everyone's constantly being put to sleep. Mimi's taking quite the beating over there. Sturk's not doing that much better. He's doing alright though.
Here we go.
And a lot of my turns are being spent healing rather than attacking, so I'm not getting the best damage output either, which is a little bit of a shame.
I'll take your place.
But that special gauge does fill up quite quickly, as you can see. Especially if you keep getting attacked, which is kind of a nice thing, I guess. If you're the subject of attack, or if you choose one of your characters to defend Meruru or do a chain attack, the special gauge actually goes up a lot faster. So let's try and cause some damage here. I have a couple of healing items that'll be coming up.
I'm here.
Let's use the power.
We're nearly there, guys. This enemy should be taken out within the next couple of turns. But certainly not easily. I'm sure there are people who have done this much better. But like I said, I kind of just walked in, not really knowing much about these enemies, and just using past strategies to kind of do my thing here.
This ends now. You are about to witness my transcendent power. My blade, the earth, the sky, the sea, and stars. Flash in the dark, cut them down. Slice them all. This battle shall be engraved in my memory. Farewell, my rival.
Ah, very nice. Both of these battles were both finished with a special finishing move, which is incredibly awesome. Double points for style,
Still have a long way
and
to
we
go.
were able to gain a level for each of them, which is great. I'm glad that I got that all finished up. Those were 2 very, very tough fights, and they were actually a lot of fun. Really challenging, kind of walked into them blind, had to use a lot of items, and it was a bit of a struggle, but that's why I had kind of prepared ahead of time. That landed us 80 development point. We're now able to rank up when we go back to the kingdom, we're getting closer to our 100,000 population goal, and we have a bunch of development points to spend when we get back to Arles. There is still one enemy I would like to fight. We'll do that in the next video though. We still have this enemy at the Garden Ruins to take care of, but that's on the way back to Arles, so that can always be on the return trip. I think we've done a lot of fighting though, and we are going to be heading back to Arles in the next video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this jam-packed kind of session that we had with the monster slaying. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I hope that I will be seeing you next time.